so much of our identity and so much of who we are goes into our family, right? This unit has created who we are and how we identify with. And if somebody within that family unit says, I don't like that dude, I don't know about that, you feel that there's some validity there. There's some validity to their thinking, oh, that person is not good for you, or I don't like them.
So one of the questions that that I have abhorred, I'm actually going to answer now. I get so tired of this question as an interracial couple, but I'm going to answer it. And that is, what do I prefer dating white women over black women? Do I have a preference?
Do you have a preference, Julian?
Do I have a preference? Did I have a preference? The answer was no. I just didn't. I didn't want to limit myself by only dating black women or only dating people of color. I didn't want to limit myself. But a lot of people make an assumption that I prefer someone because they're white, right? And that drives me crazy because I see a lot of these sites on Facebook, and I see a lot of these dating sites where it's, it's geared toward people who want to date outside their race. And I think that's utterly ridiculous.
Right.
I think it's ridiculous to limit yourself in any way, shape, or form.
Right. So either refusing to date somebody of your own race, like girls who are like, oh no, I only date black guys, or
Yes.
I don't date white guys.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. Oh no, I only date white guys. So I only date somebody within my race, or I refuse to date somebody within my race. Both are equally
right. I sense
inappropriate.
Well, what I sense, there you do have a crowd that is just stupid like that and ignorant like that, and fine. And then you have people who, and I'm not defending them, but they don't want the vitriol that comes with dating outside your race. They're like, oh, I like him, but what other people are going to think? Right. There are those people out there.
There are plenty of people who care about what their family thinks.
Yes.
I'm not going to bring this guy home because my mother would never approve.
Right.
That was obviously not a problem for me.
No, nor me.
I didn't think about whether or not my parents would approve when I dated. And I did not date only one race or only one type of guy.
Only handsome guys, right?
Only guys with degrees.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna be snobby like that. So we dated online, right? And when you're like putting in your preferences and things like that, you can say, oh no, I prefer somebody
with a degree. Okay.
And I did say that. But I think that's a very different thing than saying I only want to date this skin color.
Right. It drives me, another thing that really drives me crazy is when people think, right, that because I'm dating outside my race, I'm ashamed of who I am. That drives me crazy. And I'm very proud of who I am. I'm very accepting of who I am. I've never tried to shed that I'm a black male. I've never tried to do that. And I don't think you're shedding that you're white. I mean, but people just have made an assumption, oh, he doesn't like his own kind, as if I'm dating an elephant, That drives me crazy.
Well, we are so different.
Yes. I mean,
okay, so
it all works the same,
but
that drives me crazy.
So this is funny to me because by you dating outside of your race, you're not dating your kind. But my cousin who married somebody from Europe fresh off the boat, that conversation never happened.
Okay.
At no point in time was anybody like, there are going to be cultural differences.
Yes, I've
Like,
seen that. Yeah.
so, but with you and me, I'm worried about the cultural differences.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
just not so, but really, they aren't saying cultural differences. That's just a lie. Because if that were true, they would have said it about the Swedish girl that they married, or the Norwegian girl that they married, or
Yeah.
the French girl that
Yeah.
they married. Because there are some pretty significant cultural differences there. But that conversation doesn't happen because those are two white people, right? And similarly, you have a relative who married a man from Africa,
Yes, I did.
very much
Yeah.
African, right?
Yeah.
Did they ever have the cultural differences conversation?
I have two relatives who married people from Africa. One marriage didn't work out, but I noticed when one relative married a person from Africa, he had issue. He was from Africa. He had problems fitting in. Let's just say that. And not to blame him for the separation or anything, because I don't know or care whose fault it was, if it was either one's fault. But he did have a hard time. I could, just from what I could see.
But from your, like, the outside family
And
looking in.
and the other one who married an African, and who last I heard is still married, no issues. There was no cultural conversations that
Right. And
that
so,
took
like, the
place.
family didn't say,
No.
we're concerned about this.
No. But I'm going to say this. If you are concerned, and I realize I'm a different animal breed than this, I did not care what my family thought. Like, I just didn't care. I was never going to date
that
somebody
wasn't-
based on what other people thought. I was never going to do that. Maybe because I lived a few hundred miles away. We lived in different states, but I didn't have to. I just didn't see my family all the time. But I never sought their approval for who I was dating.
Right.
I don't understand
Yeah, that
people. I
wasn't-
don't understand people who do. And I realize that I'm in the. A lot of people don't feel that way. They say, "Oh no, he or she has to
They
fit
have
in with
to
my
fit
family."
into with my family.
I never thought that way. That
Right.
was not for me. I
Right.
did not want to have anybody skew my perspective. I mean, that short time that we dated before we got married, I had you meet a couple friends, but I think that was it.
Right.
That was
Right.
it.
I did. I got
But if people that
reasonably grilled by a very good friend.
Yes, but that's it.
But yeah,
That's it. And that friend, it
It's
wouldn't
hard
have
because-
necessarily stopped me from marrying you. By the way.
because people, but that's, I think so much of our identity and so much of who we are goes into our family, right? This unit has created who we are and how we identify with. And if somebody within that family unit says, I don't like that dude, I don't know
Yeah.
about that, you feel that there's some validity there. There's some validity to their thinking, oh, that person is not good for you, or I don't like them. I obviously didn't need the approval of my family.
Not completely, right?
Right, but there definitely are those thought processes of, well, maybe they're not wrong. Maybe there's something to that sentiment. And so I think because this is where we came from and this is the unit that we associate with the most, there is a tendency to want to make sure that unit stays good.
You know what I thought?
And then you're bringing somebody into it as opposed to your
Here's
exiting it.
here's what I thought. I thought, don't you trust me enough to make my own decision?
I agree with that,
Like,
100%.
because I was 35 when we got married.
That's true.
And so I'm like, well, you don't know this person. You haven't really communicated with me a whole lot since I left. But all of a sudden, you have an opinion about who I'm dating or who I'm marrying.
Right.
I'm just thinking, so when there's a criticism or a comment, I'm thinking, don't you trust me enough to make my own decision? And that's where I think of it is. I think of it as, don't they trust you or whoever it is?
Right.
Don't they trust you enough to make your own decision?
Well,
That would be my question.
I think that's a very valid question. So let's circle back to dating your own kind, which I hate. Own kind.
I hate that.
I hate that.
I hate
Stop
that.
it. I'm not
Yes.
dating an animal.
Right, exactly.
But that idea, and I think there might be real fears of the acceptance or the tolerance level or I'm sorry, I just because I'm not willing to go outside of my own norm, right?
Yeah.
You might represent something I'm completely uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
So I think the question is awful, and I think that people need to be open-minded to all kinds of possibilities, because
I've changed my mind on that.
the relationship that you have, right? So here's my advice on dating. Not that you need it, but I didn't, when I was dating, I didn't have a checklist of the things that the person I was dating needed to fulfill. I had an ideal relationship in my head. This is what I want out of a relationship. And whatever type of person can give me what I want in a relationship, I'm open to the different types of people. It doesn't have to be,
All right.
they have to check all of these boxes. This is the relationship.
I have a rebuttal.
Okay.
I have a rebuttal. And I've changed my mind on this. I used to say that. I used to say, look, be open-minded.
Be open-minded.
I used to say that. Here's what I say now. If you are not open-minded, please don't date outside your race. Save your partner. If you have a fetish, if you have a fetish, don't date outside your race. If you are, because we have known people who have taken advantage of, let's just be honest, they've taken advantage of people who are not within their race, because we live overseas.
Yeah.
We've seen people come from overseas and they have a field day because of their privilege, right? If you are narrow-minded, right, and if you are afraid of what other people will think, right, if that's important to you, if you have that fear, then don't do it. Don't date outside your race. Be narrow-minded. Stay within your race. Make other people happy.
It's terrible.
No, I'm serious. Make other people happy. Be miserable. Limit yourself.
You're never going to be happy if
No.
your life is about making other people happy.
No. But exactly, I'm being
I'm
being facetious here. But don't put that on your partner. Like if dating outside your race is really embarrassing to you and you have to think about it that much, stay within your race. Don't do it. Okay? So I used to say, if I have to tell you to be open-minded, then you're probably not open-minded. If I have to convince you, no, you should be open-minded to whatever race comes your way. If you're really that worried about it, don't do it. Don't date outside your race. Anyway.
If you've had the question, if people have commented about your interracial relationship, what are some odd questions or other things that you would like to add or discuss with this conversation? Let us know.
All right.